All right, this next poem is titled My Grandpa, Chief Standing Bear. And I wrote it about 4 years ago, I guess. I can remember where I was when I wrote it. I was sitting in this coffee shop in New Orleans that wasn't too far away from where my partner and I lived. And it was called the Orange Couch. There was a actual orange couch in the coffee shop. And I was far away from home, but I think the thing about being a Indian person is that, you know, you can be far away from home and still feel home as intensely as if you know, it was just right outside your door. And I was kind of sitting there and this poem came to me, and you know, I was just remembering Standing Bear's story, and you know, really I started thinking like I wanted to make a big artwork that took up the whole night sky, and that made it impossible for all the Ponca youth to see anything but that big neon luminous artwork in the sky. And I wanted that artwork to be a poetic celebration of our great chief Standing Bear and the things he did. And I wanted it to, you know, transmit some of his essence into our Ponca youth, to ignite their curiosity about this great man that is in our tribe's history, and that in many, many different ways is continuing to walk with us present day Poncas as a hero, as a role model, as an inspiration, and as a spiritual grandfather. I wanted to fill the night sky with his human face, with his intimate human experience of the story that he is known for, of the court case that he is known for, and of the victory in the court that he is known for. And I wanted, you know, that to travel into our young people too, to awaken some of that magnificent Ponca identity that is just under the surface of their unique selves, so that it would be maybe a little easier for them than it was for me, and it would be maybe a lot easier for them than it was for my dad and his generation to feel their reasons for why they're here, and for them to feel the path that is present for them. You know, the good path that is there for them because of their ancestors and because of, you know, many mighty-hearted old ones, like my grandpa, Chief Standing Bear. You know, I don't want them to wander around with that lost feeling of not knowing who they are. I don't want them to wander around, wondering and feeling like they don't have a good answer for that question of, well, what does it mean to be a Ponca? In the life and story of Chief Standing Bear, a lot can be learned about what it means to be a Ponca Indian. And I guess as I was kind of daydreaming all this stuff in that coffee shop, and I was intensely feeling the stuff of home, this poem came to me. And so this poem was kind of me trying to take that large night sky filling neon artwork that expressed some of our great chiefs' soul and essence. This poem was me trying to take that and press it into a little collection of sentences. So, things are getting better. Things are better now than they were 4 years ago when I wrote this poem. This year, they actually named a high school in Lincoln, Nebraska, Chief Standing Bear High School. That's a world away from where things were a couple of decades back. Now Nebraska, now Lincoln, now many people, Indian and non-Indian, are recognizing what a powerful, proud figure Chief Standing Bear was and is, and how he can be kind of a guiding light for us, for knowing how to be human, how to follow your spirit, how to interface with many of the difficult and challenging things that are going on in today's society, and really how to live up to your own greatest potential, no matter what all the people standing against you might have to say, because of the misunderstandings that have unfortunately gathered in their own minds. So yeah, I think this poem about Chief Standing Bear is a good way to end the month, to end Native American Heritage Month. Okay, my grandpa, Chief Standing Bear. The consciousness of Chief Standing Bear linked up to the Great Spirit, like fumes rising from his head in the night. All their poorly protected feet crunching together in the flickering snow, starlight coating them all. A father changing history for every Indian living upon this land recently renamed America, because of a request whispered from his dying son's lips. Bury me where our people are buried, not here. Standing Bear trekking onward with his relatives, escapees, wards of the state, savages. Can you see all the spirits that walked with them as they suffered frostbite, as they prayed their way home? They stop and rest in a small stretch of trees, actually laughing some, making the smallest fire to get warm. Standing Bear sees his boy running along a riverbank back home, and without opening his mouth, without blinking his eyes, quietly, he speaks to him and says, I promise. You know, Standing Bear's whole story is wrapped up in his wanting to honor his son's request to be buried in the Ponca homelands. And after our people were death marched down to Oklahoma, and maybe a third of the tribe died in those first 2 years, including his son, he wanted to go back to bury his son. And he made his journey, and he was detained or arrested. And maybe to find out the rest, if you don't already know, you should look into it, because it's a story worth knowing, whether you're a native or an American or just a child of this earth anywhere on this globe. All right. Thank you. Happy Native American Heritage Month.